eventually that's getting fixed in, but we've still got more work to go, so that will go there eventually. So that's one job done. There was absolutely no way of filming this because there wouldn't have been enough battery power. This has took a long while. Cut a very crude hole, got a neater one on the outside, but in here it was quite difficult. I had to modify an old vintage tool to do that, and that didn't work out too well, but we've got it in, connected this up. That's going to have to go to the top if I can get it to fit the top, which is there. I've taken out the grating because they don't do that size anymore, unfortunately. So I'll put sealant around that and push this back up inside the area where it's concerned after I've got the junction box in, and then I'll connect that all up and then screw this unit down and hope for the best. Weighs a ton, that thing, but there you go. Upon pulling that out, fan kicks in. I've just got to put the filter back, and the lens has got to go back in. I mean, this thing was filthy when we got it, and it is still dirty, but trust me, it was a lot worse than what it is now. I kind of cheated on the hinges a bit. I don't know if you can see that, but they came off some caravan doors that were naff, and as you can see, that ain't square. We've got to take that off and recut that and then lacquer up, but it holds itself up. So all we've got left to do now is the latch and line that inside out properly, and then we're good to go on that. So now it's a question of getting some tea down my gut and come back out, and we'll have a thorough clean up, and then you'll see this for what it is. Struggling with these chairs at the moment. I will show you something else that I've done today as well. Door handle, a bit of that old tread plate and a cupboard handle. Rather pleased with that. Yeah, they're too wide. Take the armrests off and they fall apart. They're too heavy and they're very uncomfortable, but they are wide enough where I could put one there and put two here. You know we're going to get people turn up. It's guaranteed to happen. It's just a dining area or a slop out area, whatever you call it, but the armrests are the issue, unfortunately. When you've got a table there, and I've done a little practice run, you can't get under the table. You ain't exactly going to lay out the table and then lift it up in the air with everything on it. It's just not how it works. You see what I mean? So we're a little stuck. The problem is those seats are very comfortable, and memory from my Trans that I built with those seats was backache, but we were using them as a sofa. We are building a sofa in the back, so we're just eating really and doing my laptop work when I do the videos. As soon as the walls are up. See, what would make my life also easier, due to the fact I can't get hold of supplies at the moment, is just having a straight two seats. So, this is me positioning. I can see out of that window. I can't see out of that window, unfortunately. I'll be able to see out of that window. Won't be able to see out of that window because there'll be a board in the way. Two nice little side seats. Scoffing our dinner, enjoying the day. Don't have to stare at the toilet because I've got a window. To get my point. However, can't get under it with those armrests in the way. Now, if I turn these around so they're facing that way, what am I looking at? I'm looking at a wardrobe, a bathroom and a shower room. The views are behind me. That ain't gonna work. I genuinely don't know what to do. The thing I can think of is to make them swivel and put them on sliders as well. Unfortunately, I've only got one swivel mechanism. These do swivel in their own right, but look how wobbly they are. They're terrible. I would like them a lot stronger than what they are as you see them. Unfortunately, I left one of my swivels in the transit when I sold it. So, like a lot of things I left in there when I sold it, which I shouldn't have done. Especially with the money it made. Mug. Anyway. Till tomorrow. After some severe heavy debate with me and the wife about how these chairs are going to go in. I mean, we're at it for an hour last night trying to figure everything out. You'll notice that those leather ones are gone. They're too big. That space is too small. Had I have made that slide out, say, to there, with a door in the centre for argument's sake, we could have figured it out, but we never planned for that. Originally, it was just going to be a back bench along there with a table here. That was what we were going to do. Hence the big window there. Well, reasonably big window. But after talking about it and looking on YouTube last night at other vans and vehicles and stuff, we're going to go with the 3 minibus seats, but they are a bit too heavy for the job. So I'm just having a bit of a half debate at the moment whether to strip off all of the foam work so I get rid of the metal work. That includes the seatbelt mechanisms. Been having some problems this end with transport issues, as you might very well know. The Jeep is dead. Let me turn the camera on me. The Jeep is dead. This is amazing. I'll tell the story because it might amuse some of you. We started off with I think it was £600 bill that I got reduced to £400 with a different garage, that then went up to, are you ready for this one? 1,300 quid for a clutch and a little bit of welding. Alright, well, a little bit of welding, it was a 2-foot hole, but hey ho, who's counting? Hole is a hole. So yeah, we didn't do it. So in the end I said no to that. A friend of mine, one of the subscribers, Mark Webb, put me onto a Fiat Skidoo for 600 quid. He put me onto a Fiat Skidoo for a few quid, and I've been working on that. Bought it, I've been working on it. It's got a few electrical issues that I've now dealt with. The light is not very good, but it is what it is. What it is a vehicle that can take plywood very easily. I don't have to chuck it on roof rack, and the mileage is not 21.5 to the gallon. That's what it is. What it has got is an intermittent fan issue, which I've now semi-dealt with. Not properly, but the fan works. Windows don't steam up. And a fuel gauge that reads and the fuel gauge that's reading quarter full when it's on empty. So yeah, we've got a few things to sort out on it, but we got it. It's here. It's got quite a few doors, and I might even turn this into a stealth camper if I can restore some of the panels that are a little bit rusty. We ain't got no holes in it that I'm aware of, so we might do a stealth camper out of that one and do some trips in that as well. So where does it leave us with this? Well, at the moment, as you know, we've got those counters sorted out and tops. We've just got loads of trim work to do, and I want to start that slide out next. But I've now decided, due to the fact that I can't find the brackets for those seats, and I can't make my mind up which piece of ply has to go in first, that the best thing I can do is rework those pulleys, because I need a base tensioner. I also have a little bit of welding to do underneath, and I have some welding to do on the inside as well for the seats themselves that we have already spoke about. So where I plan to start on this is the seals. We've talked about this quite a lot, and we've done nothing about it to this date. So I'm heading off down to the scrappers tomorrow. I'm going to see if I can find myself some real big chunky angle iron, because I want to whack some angle iron over these edges there to protect them from the weather when these things are slid out, for obvious reasons. Once I've got that in, that'll also allow me to pre-bolt wood to the top surface without having to run bolts all the way through. This one will be easy because I've got no floor at the moment. That one will not be so easy. So we're going to run some screws in through the sides, some big chunky screws, and quite a few of them as well. Pre-drill, pilot holes, and then put them in. And then once those bottom seals are in down on that floor line, we can then work on the wall ones that go all the way around. We're not going to be putting any trim angle or anything like that around it. We're going to paint that all up and try and seal it with paint underneath that edge here, which it should work. Because we've now arranged for that to be picked up by the scrapyard, which I'm a little bit sad about, to be honest with you. I never understood why people get upset at scrapping vehicles, but I don't know what, the feelings are a bit weird. It's done me well for 3 years. It's cost me a fortune just before this MOT, but time for it to go. It's had its day, so that's on its way out. Now the truck, we have some leaks that hasn't gone away. I don't know what it is. I'm gonna have to get on that roof, and I'm gonna have to literally scour that roof line. I reckon I've put pinprick hole with the drill when I was drilling, and everything leans down because I'm on the drive. And also another flipping leak, and this is major. That I know where it's coming from, and I can deal with that. I just wasn't aware of it because I had all tools there. That's got to be sorted out before we put that plywood in, because the moment I put that plywood in, it's going to run up the ply and stain the heck out of it, which we don't want. For all of you lot that were first with me regarding the rat rod, I actually want to get back to this, but I'm trying to find a diesel. Because that V8 is going to be super juicy, and I'd rather have it in the trike, to be honest, because that engine's blown, and try and find some sort of diesel for that, like a Perkins 6-cylinder lorry diesel or something like that anyway. And I have been saying this from the beginning, when I put it down, that body is not working. But I came out here earlier because I was thinking about putting a Land Rover body on, and I came out here earlier and I saw the wing sitting where it is, and it's a bit difficult to show it via this camera because you can't see what I can see. I'm going to pick this up again in the summer. I may even start early spring. It depends how far I get with the other project that we're on. I also have to do something about that because I want that on the road summer. Wednesday. Well, we made a start, but we've already cocked it up. Bloody, sorry to swear, the ball bearing fell off the router, and I didn't realise until after. And that made a right old hash. So now I've got to put wood all the way around, 1 to hide the screws and 2 to hide the bodge, and then run the router around it again. But there you go. We're going to put a piece of wood across there as well, just a piece of trim just to hide that gap. And I've cut out with the router the base plate, which won't go in just yet, but the cupboard will come out to there on that side, and there'll be a single cupboard come out to that side there. So it is falling into position. I'm a little worried about these windows. I struggle with that. I think how I'm going to struggle with that. I'm a bit worried. Actually, I'm extremely worried. Unfortunately, the guy who took these off the lorry that they donated from, he didn't take the internal frames. For some reason, he never keeps the internal frames. But other than that, yeah, we're going quite well. The roof, I'm going to attempt to slide. I've left a gap, so I'm hoping, I ain't left much of a gap there though, but I was hoping to get a piece of ply to slide under that and lock it in, and then we can rivet it in. But because this aluminium sits at a lower point, then that's going to be troublesome as well, really. The framework for the seats, I'm actually debating about reusing them now that the seat belt mounts are all gone. I see, if I was going to use the seat belts, I'd had to have done some welding, and I didn't want to bring the welder out, and that's just more aggro than it's worth. And to be honest, I don't really want to take passengers, so if somebody buys this off me, that's something they're going to have to worry about. I can't be doing it. So we've washed one cover, just an experiment, see if it will come apart, and we'll see if we can put them all back on, and we'll drill 4 holes, and when we build the cupboard to hold the seats, we'll load it. Another day gone by. Got a damp spot there. Excuse me. That's because the wall is still wet from the leak I had. and the sealant I put up, because I stuck it on wet material, sealant hasn't quite stuck down in one area, so I've got a little bit more finishing to do up there. But the side pieces are in, the walls are now glued properly, the floor's now glued. I was reluctant to put that in yet, but it needed to go in. I've riveted it into position all the way around. Most of that will be hidden up. So yeah, carpet, I think that's where we're going to go with this. We'll carpet the floor bit, and we're going to take it up to that line that you see and no higher. There'll be a piece of mahogany trim run across. I have already ordered some mahogany dye to dye that wood up, so we're going to varnish that. But then I'm going to put some teak around the outside of the window to redecorate where I cocked it up with the router, because the bearing fell off, in case you've just tuned in and don't know what's going on. I've taken one piece of polystyrene out, and I've put, because it kept falling, and I've added some battens for the roof. Now I put that back in with some, well, basically spray foam that you see there. It's all I can think of really to get it to stick and to stop moisture build up. At the moment that's just resting on that stick at the moment. So tomorrow, right, more has been done. The roof panels now put in, and the roofing, oh god, I forgot the name of the damn things. No, it's clean out my head. I can't remember what they're called. Oh, blinking heck. Come back to that. Wooden coving is also now put in place, as best as I could get it. I've put a double router edge in, just for tidying up purposes. Next is to stick some wood on here, ready to face off onto that, and then I'm going to put another piece of wood over the top of that, glued onto that slightly wider, so we can cap all of this off, and then there'll be another piece go down to decorate the edge. And then we can sit back and figure out where we're going with it after this. That engine's been replaced on that saw, and it has worked extremely well, but we could do with just a little bit more revs out of it, so I've got to cheat the governor on that a little bit. This is all from the planer earlier on today, and I'll show you what we were planing down. These are the mahogany strips. They are going to go around the slide out, bolted into place. That's a leftover skirting board coving that I did earlier. I just kept it as a spare in case I needed it. However, that saw cut all of this. It took us a couple of hours, but it got through it, and I'm pretty chuffed with it. But that saw is very shaky and very difficult to handle, so the edges didn't come out very straight. Now for my application, it might not be too much of an issue. However, I have been thinking about this, and one of the ideas is to slice them down the middle again, because I think these are going to cup on me. Cup is where the wood bows like that, and I'm a bit worried that's what's going to happen. And that's pretty much what we started off with. Tree sections. Now I picked these up years ago. These must be 10 years they've been sitting behind my shed. These are the ones that are left over. I just couldn't be asked to do any more. I kind of came to the conclusion I had enough wood to get by on. I've got 3 left, and that is it. And I thought, well, we'll bring them in, and so we can't put them up on the wall out of the way somewhere to dry. So okay, I'm going to call it a day. I've put the first block in, which is sitting against this steel. I haven't sealed it. Kind of wished I had, but I didn't. At first it was more of an experiment to see what would happen. Now I've got it on there, I don't really want to take the bugger off. So what I do need to do, I'll get the other 2 in tomorrow, but we need to jack up that front edge of that slide out, because when I put those rubbers in, they're just going to tear if I keep it the way it is. There's a secondary seal going on. I've decided to put a second one on. This on its own ain't going to be strong enough. If the bearings underneath fail for some reason, that could potentially snap that leading edge up there. So what I plan to do is to put a second block in here, fixed to this bit of wall there, all the way down, and then that wide oak that you saw in the shed, I'm going to put that over the top of this, seal it, screw it, glue it, and then I'll have a rubber go down this seal, and there'll be a rubber go down on that one. So there's potentially 2 points that moisture has got to try and creep through. I don't think I'll be able to stop it completely, but as long as I keep them varnished up every year, and then make sure the rubbers are in good condition, there shouldn't be too much trouble. The bottom one is going to be the biggest headache, to be honest with you. The steel that I got from the yard, I don't think that's going to do a very good job. I've looked at this, the way it's, the width and lengths, and I just don't think that's going to work. What I could really do with is some big 5-inch wide flat, and actually screw, bolt and glue and weld that to the framework, so there's a metal lip stick up, and then I can put my block of wood on that. Ideally, I think that would be the best scenario, but I will use that stuff. We'll have a go, and if it don't work, we'll scrap the idea, and after Christmas, I think it's going to be too late to order it now. After Christmas, we'll get some decent sized flat bar or flat plate, and we'll do all of the slide outs underneath in the same system. Well, I've just dyed it. Patchy areas. I don't know how that's going to work out. If it don't, then we'll just have to cover it instead. But we'll see how this goes. As I said before, we're carpeting each side of those, so we're not too fussed about that. The seal and line has already been done. Now we've got the first of the seal blocks in. We just got to get the belt on them and sand these edges off and sand across there, but we're waiting for everything to dry. We put a plywood plate behind there. We've almost got it level with the top, but I've had to put polyurethane behind it because it was a big hollow area, and I mean, look at the build up down there. Got ourselves a challenge going on there. I've also started building it up around here, but I ran out. I couldn't completely complete it, so we only got a little bit done. Tomorrow I'm going to put in a strip going down here, so we can then start thinking about the secondary blocks that have got to go in. But I think while we're on this one, also we'll get a piece of ply cut to go over this, and we'll get this window cut out. I was so hoping to get this seal system finished, you see, but before the upload, but it just isn't looking like it's going to happen. So I think I'm going to call it a day, and the next video, which I'll put out in a few days time, which will complete this job, because I can see that some are getting impatient through the lack of videos. I mean, it's been a good couple of weeks now. The van has held me up, and again, apologies for that. So yeah, I think we're going to upload now. I've dyed it. You can see the blocks are in. I mean, they've been put in with flat bolts. As you can see, I've bolted them all in. This one I didn't glue, but these two I did up here. They're completely glued. This one's got some pink grip in there. That'll go rock hard eventually, and we'll cut all the excess off, and we'll fold this out, fold the slide out completely out tomorrow, and we'll cut the next load of wood that's got to go in, and then we can varnish this all up with a bit of luck over a period of about 2 or 3 days, and then we'll stick the rubber seals on. In the meanwhile, I've got to get underneath it as well, because I need to sort out the rollers that have give out. This has gained in weight, and I didn't put a lot of weld on those rollers. I thought it would. I honestly thought it would hold it, but it didn't. I don't know how much weight is on there, but it's enough to bend them out. So we'll put a couple of more runs on each one of those rollers, 4 in total, about 1 inch. They say an inch of weld can carry a ton in weight, so we'll see about that, won't we? I don't believe there's a ton, but when this thing's moving around, there is a lot of kinetic force, I think is the word I'm looking for, going across those rollers. So yeah, don't forget guys, keep an eye open for the rat rod. If we don't get any rain Christmas morning, I will make another start on that engine, that V8 engine, so keep an eye open on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day stroke Christmas Eve. It depends how drunk I get in the afternoon, because I'm going to do some work in the morning, and then after tea or after dinner I'm going to be too bloated, so I'm going to have some drink, and I don't know if I'll have the energy to go up in the office and upload that bit of video footage, but if I do, I will. If not, it will be Boxing Day evening when I upload that instead. So we'll have one more of these come out before Christmas. We'll have the rat rod come out before New Year, and then we'll get the words out, Sean. Then we will resume normal services on this in the new year, depending on what the government does with this so-called lockdown that's coming. I have no political comments to make on this one. I have my own annoyances and frustrations like you do, so I don't want thumbs down for that remarks. I'm going to shut my mouth, I think, and move on. So thank you very much for subscribing. Welcome to the new subscribers. Please don't forget to subscribe if you've just tuned in to my channel. There's loads going on. As I said, we're going to pick up the rat rod. Thanks ever so much for your comments. I really do appreciate people making comments, because it just means you're making a little extra bit of effort to address something that either bothers you, or you like, or you just curiosity. I do appreciate the comments a lot. So again, thank you for those, and we'll see you on the next edition of the motorhome build. That's what I was looking for. Bye.